Rahel, welcome back.
Thank you, Brian.
Now, I know a special day is coming up, right? What's happening this week for you?
Well, this week I'm actually moving to Israel, and I have a good reason for doing it. I actually thought I would stay in Korea a little bit longer, but I became a real live granny
Yay!
6 months ago, and I went back to Israel for the birth, and I learned that my daughter really needs some help because she's pretty much just she and her husband and a grandfather, but pretty much she's on her own most of the time, and she really wants me to come and be a granny to her new daughter. She's a first-time mom, so I'm a first-time granny, except when I've been on television granny or something, but but now I'm a real granny, and I have a new job, but it's family time now, so I guess it's a good reason for leaving Korea. That's my event this week. I'll actually be leaving in a few days.
Yeah. Can you believe it?
I can't. It'll be close to 4 years that I've been in Korea. And now that I'm finally getting how things work, even though I need to really focus on learning Korean language, but besides that, I feel like I get it now.
Living in Korea.
Yeah, I understand more about the culture, about the people, about how things work, and how the neighborhoods are. There's a lot of things that takes adjusting to, when you go into a new culture and a new country. And I feel like almost 4 years, I kind of get it.
What was like the toughest part of getting there?
Well, I mentioned it once. I mentioned it quite often. Is the lack of language is the toughest part. But then after the lack of language, it's really the culture, getting to know the culture and the mentality of people who live here. All the generations, even the older generation is very much different than the younger generation, and the middle generation, they're all living different kinds of lifestyles with different attitudes and approaches to living in Korea, and it takes a while to learn about that. And if you really want to experience Korea and with respect, and live here, you really need to take the time to meet people, listen to them, and get to know them and understand what's influencing them in their country, because it's very different than how I would live in America, where I'm from, or how I would live in Israel, where I also am from to some extent, and where I'm going to. And I think that's been the hardest and the most important.
Did you have anything that comes to your mind that, reflecting on your time here for 4 years?
Yeah.
What was the toughest one to understand, I guess?
Online banking.
Tell me about it.
I have not got that down at all. It's like, press this, everything, and then this security code and that security, and it's different. I don't know. It's just a spider's web of, I don't even know how to approach it. Anything that's online, filling in taxes, I still can't, even though I know you've done a great job of trying to teach us how to order online, delivery, things like that.
Right.
I still cannot order online. There are certain lifestyles that people are having here that it's easy for you but hard for me.
That's really interesting to me, because some of the things that you just said, I struggle.
Oh,
My parents struggle. I've seen a lot of Koreans also struggle because everything is high tech, right?
right, high tech.
Online, all these technologies.
Yeah,
So I feel like there's a common ground for this,
Oh.
but it must be very difficult for you as an expat here,
Yeah.
because there are less resources.
right. And that, I mean, we can go to Global Village, for example. There's a lot of places that actually we could access, I think, locally in neighborhoods that are trying to help foreigners settle in and understand how things are, and you're one of them. And but you kind of get caught up in living, and then you ask a friend, or you just sort of. I resorted to just asking people who live here, like you, and like some maybe foreigners who've been here a long time and get it. Who speak the language fluently, and I kind of depend on them. Here, can you just sort of do this for me,
Right.
type of thing.
Right.
And if you don't have somebody, then it's just sort of, well, I'll just leave it. I won't bother.
We'll see how.
I'll just get along another way. I'll find something other way to do it, or I just won't do it.
Right. Unless I get in trouble, unless this is going to make me in trouble.
So that's been kind of a few hard places. I think mostly that. I mean, there's the plus side of the high tech, which is absolutely fantastic. But when most things are written in Korean, and I can read it, but I don't know what I'm reading. And but now I kind of know the subway lines. I can actually read the stations in Korean, and I know which subway station it is, and those are things that takes time to get used to, and especially saying some of the names, Yongdongpu, or these very long names in Korean that I couldn't even begin to pronounce when I first came here.
And now you're here,
Right.
figuring out all those pronunciations. You really started with no Korean to.
I had a little bit of Korean, but really, not enough. Now I have words, and I speak like a child, learning the language. 돼지고기 아니요, 소고기 좋아요. Chicken okay.
But that's good.
Yeah.
Because you can get by, right?
Right, I can basically get by, and if COVID had not struck, I would have probably been able to speak sentences by now.
But there are a lot of people who are afraid of exactly that. The language barrier.
Yeah.
And especially coming here, as a senior, were you scared at all?
No, it's funny, people look at me and they say, you've got so much courage, you're so brave, you're so courageous, just getting up and going and living this free life, and at your age, it's really, I love it, I want to be you, they all say. And I say, well, I'm not doing anything courageous, I don't think I'm being courageous, I had a curiosity, I had an opportunity, and as an opportunist, I took it. I saw a small window where my children had grown up and didn't need me, and actually gave me the blessing to go and have an adventure, because I wasn't really doing much and I didn't want to retire doing nothing. And I just sort of said, okay, I'm going to go see Korea, I'm going to go see some other places, and why not? I figure I have about 2-3 years before I'll be needed, and now it's 4 years later, and I'm needed. So I'm kind of glad. I mean, I don't see that as courage, but a lot of people do. And when they say, I want to be like you, I want to do what you're doing, I said, just be you, just do what you're doing, but you don't have to be, my family always said, you made your choices, I don't have a lot of money or something, and they, well, you made your choices. But I made the choices of things that I love to do and that I'm interested in, and I just followed my curiosity, and when I didn't, I literally felt that I was dying. I mean, it's hard to say, but I remember a few times when people told me, oh, you have to compromise on the things you love because you need to raise children and you need to do this and you can't do it until you have a house and money and all of this. And I said, I don't run after money. That's not my priority in life. My priority, as I've learned now that I'm older, is to live it. To live life and not compromise. Not to compromise because you need to do something else. And I did compromise a few times when my children were little, obviously, but I never gave up music, for example. I never gave up having a side life because those years go by really quickly. The children grow up, and if you didn't have the thing that you loved, you're lost. A lot of people feel lost. So, again, I don't see it as courage. I just see it as live your life. Do what you love to do, you know, and just do it. What's wrong with just doing it?
Right.
And people say, I don't have enough money, and I don't have this, and they're always making excuses. I didn't have enough money either, you know, and I did a lot of things when I didn't have enough money. When a parent died and I got a little more money, then I took that as a budget, and I did step out further, but I never stopped stepping out.
I have a question about that. So the compromise, that's one word that I heard many times living in Korea. What is your observation of Korean or Korean life in one word, if you can, after 4 years? Do you feel like they live it, or what's one word?
One word. Compromise is a good one. Another word comes to mind, stress.
Could you tell us more?
Or maybe not stress, or obedience.
Obedience.
Maybe. People doing what they feel they should be doing. People working very, very hard, and I respect that. But overworking. Or maybe the word is compliance. A couple of those, maybe those words would kind of describe what I see as Korean life from an outsider looking in. Feeling that you're obedient to your traditions, your cultures, the way life has been and should keep going. You're compliant to rules and regulations. You're compliant to a hierarchy of social hierarchy, maybe family hierarchy, and you're definitely going to compromise. I meet a lot of people that when they say, wish I could be you, it's because they have something in their heart, they have a dream that they would wish they could love, they want to be doing it, but they feel like, I can't. Because I need to be compliant, because I need to compromise, because I need to be obedient. And that's not just here, actually. That's probably in many countries around the world. As I said, people told me that in America. You made your choices, right? Made my choices.
The voice change.
Because when I hear that, I want to... But yes, I made my choices, and I'm glad I did. I had to suffer a little bit here and there, but you're suffering worse than I am because you're compliant. You're making compromises. You're not doing what you love to do. I'll wait till I retire. Well, when you retire, are you going to have your health? Are you going to be able to do those things that you want to do now when you're 20 or 30 or 40? You know, our bodies, we only have them for a short time.
Right.
And when you're young, you don't realize that. But now that I'm old, I realize that. And you got to take advantage while you have a young body. And what are we here for? We're here to live in this body, you know, with a soul inside of us that has a dream, a mission, a goal, something, and maybe it takes a lifetime to figure out what that is, but don't compromise. I mean, we didn't come here in this world to compromise, and we came here to be part of the world, to contribute to the world, to do something, to make the world great. Each one of us, and it's not the same as the other. So
So you did not compromise. You made your own choices, came to Korea, lived 4 years. Are you happy with your life in Korea? Were you happy with your life in Korea?
Very much so. Very much so. Yeah, now I'm gonna cry.
Oh.
It's hard to leave, it's hard to say goodbye. This past week I've had to say goodbye to a lot of people. See, my eyes are watering. And I didn't realize I knew so many people, and so many people really still want to know me and still respect me and still want to be my friend. I mean, most of the people that I met here are under 30, and it's kept me young in my spirit, in my mind, and I've done some really fantastic things here, and things I didn't know I was going to do. And as I said, when you just go on an adventure and you just follow what your interests are, you don't know where you're going to end up. And I ended up in a good place, and I had so many great opportunities, and I did so many great things with the acting and modeling. Come on. But yeah, I did it. And I thought I'm not a fashion model, but I ended up actually being a fashion model, and I didn't even realize it. And, the music was going great until COVID. And the people, the people I've met have been really supportive and encouraging, and, it's been a gift to be in Korea. So it is really hard to leave Korea, actually.
What are you going to miss the most here?
That is a very good question. I think the people, yeah. I think the culture is really fantastic, actually. With all of its compromises and obedience, I think the culture is fantastic, it's interesting, it's ancient. The history, the landscape, the fun things, the places you can go, everything, when we're foreigners here, everything's new and it's an adventure, everything is fun. And, I'm going to miss having that kind of freedom and, just that, what do I want to say? I guess the freedom of finding something new, of new experiences all the time that are different from something that I know. Because I know how to live in Israel, even though it's advanced more than when I used to live there. But I can speak the language, I can get around, I just need a little bit of acclimation. I know how to live in America. You can live easily pretty much in Europe because most people speak English. Different places you can kind of adapt to, but Korea it's like a little bubble. It's a planet of its own. It's a little bubble in the middle of the world here, where it has its own personality, its own nationality. It's very unique. It has its own language that's really hard to learn, and even other Asians find it difficult to learn. It has its own culture, it has its own history that's different. There's some kind of, it's not, maybe, we used to say about Israel, it's sort of like a country in diapers. It's just sort of growing, now it's going through its adolescence, now it's going through puberty, now it's growing up, it's maybe matured a little, and it's entered the global world, and it's become much bigger over the 72 years that it's been in existence. In modern Israel, there's ancient Israel, of course, has gone on forever, but Korea, I would say, is also in, not maybe yet in diapers, but maybe in toddlerhood or childhood. where it's just now beginning to get a taste of being part of the global world, and it's not quite sure how to do that. It's learning. It's on a learning curve. How do I enter the, with the entertainment industry has made it big around the world, and there's all this attention coming to Korea, and all of a sudden Korea, which has been a nice bubble, and very nationalistic, and very proud of Korea, because you've fought many wars, and you've got a good nation now, and a strong nation, and a pride. But when you reach out to the global world, compromise. Can you compromise to the things Korea's going to need to do to be part of the global world? Like learn English, or speak English. I know everybody knows English, but they don't speak English. Like, giving up a little bit, not giving up, but putting aside some of the traditions in order to be part of that global world. Being part of the global world is not easy. And you lose something in the process, and I'd hate to see Korea lose what it's got already. I see Israel losing some of what it used to be by going global, and I think that's sad. You need to hold on to your traditions, your cultures. That's what makes you you. That's what makes Korea Korea. And I hope that it won't get lost in the globalization process.
Well, certainly, until you come back, I'll try my best to make that happen. But I guess, for the people that you're going to miss a lot, and Koreans that you met in Korea, what would be your message for them?
The people in Korea? To the Koreans?
Yeah, in simple terms, like what would you like to say to them?
Don't be shy.
Out of all, that's what you want to say?
That's what I want to say,
Okay.
because Koreans are a little timid to open their mouths and speak to a foreigner, because I've been told it's because they're afraid to make a mistake in what they say.
In English.
In English. So I would say, don't be shy. We're here to learn from you, And if you don't speak to us, we can't learn. And even if you speak Korean, we're trying to learn Korean. So I've had, like in the elevator, older people will talk to me, and I catch a word here and there, and I'll go, ne, ne, or I'll go, oh, jib, ne, jib. Or whatever, I'll catch a word and I think I know what they're saying, and I'll try and have a conversation. Usually they're saying, where are you from? So I could say, 미국 사람입니다, 이스라엘 사람입니다, 유대인입니다, and that's kind of the extent of my conversation, but that's pretty much what they want to know.
Right. They're just really curious.
Yeah, they're just curious. So ask and talk to us. Don't be shy, and don't worry about making mistakes. We all make. Look at us. Look what I just said. I mean, how bad was that? But I'm saying it because I want to reach out and I want to know. So reach back. I think just don't be shy. Well, you're welcoming us. You're giving us opportunities, but you're keeping your distance. Come closer. Come closer. That's what I would say. We want to know. Invite us into your home. Invite us, take us around, I've had some people, we have now, translator, right?
Yeah.
And I've had some friends that we use translator all the time, and they've taken me to the botanical garden, take me to a trip somewhere in the car to see somewhere I couldn't see, and seeing it with them is more exciting. Even if you can't speak, if I'm just using the translator,
There's a lot of, okay, okay.
yeah, okay,
Okay.
Or just pointing or miming, or, we get what we get, but it's still more exciting because you're part of it. It helps us be part of it. It helps us integrate and, and appreciate. Otherwise we think, I used to think, why won't they sit next to me on the subway? What, do I smell or something? You know, what's going on? And they don't sit next to me. And I'm like, what's going on there? And then I realized, because what if I open my mouth and ask them a question and they don't want to feel that maybe they're insulting me or maybe they're too shy to answer. So I used to think, do you hate foreigners? But then I learned that it's not about disliking foreigners, it's about a shyness, a timidness, it's a fear of themselves not showing who they are really. So don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. And when you open the door, there's so many opportunities waiting for you.
Yeah.
Just like you came here and did what you did.
Right.
And I think there are many people along the way, like you said, who helped you
Right.
during the process.
Exactly.
So, didn't you say you have a little sheet that you carry with you?
So I've got a list here, and I want to say goodbye to a bunch of people by name because they've been important, even in little things that they came and who did come out and approach me. So I can read off my list.
Go ahead.
Brian. Brian was my first friend here in Korea.
Yeah.
And he's still my best friend, one of my best friends here, who has given me many opportunities and helped me so much just living here in so many ways. So I'm not allowed to hug you, can I?
Why are you not allowed? Oh, it's been wonderful, and so proud of you. So proud of you, sure.
Brian has helped me achieve many things, and except for one thing, Shia Junsu.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I never got to meet you
So
and
close.
give you my song. So if you're ever out there and you want to look me up in Israel, if you come to Israel, there are many fans in Israel. If you come, you'd better find me. Brian can attest to that.
You heard her.
Shia Junsu, I will thank you for being an influence to get me here, and I look forward to meeting you one day. Neo of the Homestay English Academy in Busan. Busan was the second place I went to. You're just like, I gotta say goodbye and thank you. I love you. You're just crazy, Neo. Thank you for being there and taking us into Busan. I said, my age, I can be there? He said, yeah. And it was the greatest thing. I lived there for 5 months there and doing the conversational English, and thank you, Neo. Kane and all the people who were working there. Some of my students there, Yongha, Michael Jackson, yes. You and me, Michael Jackson. And of course there's Tia, who was a musical duo from Vietnam, now back in Vietnam. I say goodbye to you. I hope to see you in Vietnam. And I hope it'll be a wonderful time. Son, thank you. I just saw you, so you know you're cool. Song Mi, you're the best. Meeting you as I was crossing the street, and I was just in Busan, got to say goodbye to everybody. Yonggu of the Israel Center, if you get a chance, the Israel House in Busan, if you get a chance to go to the Israel House, please look up Yonggu. Go there. Wonderful. Yonggu speaks Hebrew, we communicate in Hebrew. Awesome. James Coe. I'm going to see you hopefully tomorrow, but if I don't see you, James Coe gave me the opportunity to be a journalist here in Korea, and I was writing, and I got to see many beautiful musicals and art exhibitions and cultural events, thanks to James. You're the best, really. Deborah, Mr. Lee, of course, who I've been contracted with, who enabled me to get this E6 visa and be able to come and be part of Korea in this really fun way. So thank you. Paul. Paul is an older man who was giving out flyers in the street when I just came here, and I was living in Guanacu. And he just started talking to me. So when I said, reach out, come and bring us in, he just said, oh, hello, I'm Paul, where are you from? And we started to talk, and we still communicate. So Paul, thank you for reaching out. My fan, I have one fan. I'm sorry I don't know your name offhand, but you know who you are. You're a chef, and you came and met me as I was sitting at a table, and you said, Rahel, so excited to see you. And we've been communicating. Vadim, thank you for bringing me to act on NBC TV. Thank you. You were the greatest and still the greatest. And I'm sorry that I can't be there next week for you. And in the future, I know you asked me to come back and do some acting, but I won't be here. So thank you, Vadim. Yeonju also met me when I was busking and said, oh, you're so interesting. I want to do an interview with you. I want to do something. And she helped film, and I hope your film career just goes forward. Yeonju. 감사합니다. Come on. Can I keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeonju. Also Andy and Bora. Thank you for being good friends. Also met me busking, and we've remained friends. Wonderful two people, a couple, just friends, being friends. Kelly, thank you for bringing me in to work with the children. JT, also. Andrew, you've been also great. Maite, thank you. Alessandro, you know who you are. I'll see you soon. Nava, thank you for being a good Israeli friend here. What did I say? Rachel, keep it going. Keep it going, girl. You're going to be great. My landlady, Mrs. Kim, you have been really, I thank you for being the best landlady ever. And she's been really great, really amazing. And Robin, the realtor, also thank you for being my mouthpiece and for being also so understanding and helpful. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Let's see. Egle, keep it going. All the models and the agencies who I've worked with, you've been really, really helpful. Thank you for looking at me and bringing me in and giving me work. So many agencies. I don't want to name them by name, but you know who you are. And who else? I think I'm reaching the end. Is that it? Musi, Rabbi, right? Rabbi Litzman, Asher Litzman and Musi, his wife, and now they have 9 kids, all the kids, Yudit, Menachem, Elchaya, Chava, Sarah, Devorah, Yosef. I'm missing all of it, but you know, all of you guys, you are the best. Every Friday night, thank you. Chabad in Korea, yes. And I think I've kind of reached the end. If I've missed anybody, who's this? Oh, Leon, Gang, JB, yep. I don't know. That's all I can think of right now. Didn't know I knew so many people. Also, our friend here who is filming, Kamsamida, thank you so much for your work. And my kids, I gotta thank my kids for saying, just go, Mom, just go have an adventure. I wouldn't have got here without their blessing. And like, okay, I'll be like, you know, like all of those Hollywood stars. Thank you, God. Should have been number 1. Thank you, God, for that.
You save it for the
Yeah.
last.
For last, the last is always the best, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So thank you, Brian, for and Connect Korea and for just allowing me this opportunity to say goodbye to everybody here in Korea. I'm holding my tears back, but thank you. Thank you. 고맙다. 고마워요. 감사합니다. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Sorry, I said I wouldn't cry. I said I would cry.
It's
I'm crying.
okay. It's okay. I'm just very proud of you, and I'm really excited for the new adventure. And you know, Korea will definitely miss you.
Yeah.
The best the best grandma character in Korean films and dramas. So,
That's right.
any last words for Korea, or are you good?
I love you.
Is that the last one?
사랑다. 사랑해.
사랑해요.
사랑해. 사랑하다.
사랑해요.
사랑해요. 사랑해요. 감사합니다. Thank you.
And that's the end of today's interview. Well, thank you for watching today's story. We'll come back with more. If you have any warm words for Rahel's new adventure, please write it down in the comment section below. And hopefully we'll see her again in Korea.
That's right. The Hitra, oh, to see you again.
Exactly.
And come to Israel. When you come to Israel, come to my house. I will welcome you.
Whoever is watching.
Whoever is watching. Whoever is out there. Come to Israel and be my guest.
You ready to say goodbye? Okay. Bye.
Bye.
See you again.